Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 39 of the In From Japan podcast, the podcast where we talk about the latest news on Japan-developed games and other things in relation to them. Available on Spotify, Podbean, and YouTube. I'm your host, Erroll Moss, and with me, as always, is my co-host, the phenomenon from Suriname, Jason Corder.
Hey.
And as we always do, we're going to start the podcast with the Japanese games we've been playing. However, we've been playing a game that is now has a lot of popularity in Japan, but isn't necessarily isn't really a Japan-developed game technically. Although
it's not.
It's pretty hard to tell that it's not.
I mean, if you do your research,
individual.
You'd know.
Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about Genshin Impact first. Or wait, do you want to talk about Genshin Impact a little first, or do you want to talk about the other games we've been playing first, and then do Genshin Impact since we've both been playing it?
Let's do the others first.
Okay. So I don't have any others because I've been taking a break from Mario, but you do.
Okay, so I've been playing a bit of Mario All-Stars, Sunshine as always, and the game is frustrating at times because I mentioned in, I think, the last two episodes or the last episode, Mario's platforming is basically built around him having FLUDD. And there are levels within the game where FLUDD is removed, and then you have a more straightforward platforming level. But the thing is, it doesn't really feel well. I don't know how to explain it, but the camera is kind of finicky. The controls or the way he lands his jumps or times his jumps is a bit imprecise. And it just leaves an unsatisfying feeling and a super frustrating feeling when you die during a level and you're left thinking, okay, what happened? I mistimed the jump. I couldn't see around the corner. And don't get me started on the pachinko level because, as I said on Twitter, I think that one was designed by Satan himself. Super frustrating, but...
Wow.
The game is still fun, it's still pretty, and I still have a lot of nostalgic love for it. I used to be on the side of, they're just porting the games as is. We don't need to make a big deal out of it. It'll be fine. And now I'm on the side of, you know what? Nintendo could have done a bit more work on this. Because... Yeah.
On one hand... I'm glad they ported, because, 64 has been ported before, so that's not really that new. But I'm glad that they ported Sunshine and Galaxy to another system, even though they're kind of, bare bones.
Doing a straight port is also fine, because it's good for preservation to see how games are as is, or were as is.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you can't help but feel that they could have done more and made the experience that much better.
It's okay. They made the texture slightly better.
Galaxy or even Odyssey, that just it controls so well. It's missing so much, and you keep wishing that they added that much more to it. I mentioned the Ocarina of Time remake and the Majora's Mask remake, as that was what was their intended goal with preservation and remaking the Mario games on Switch. But that's not a fair comparison, because even though with Ocarina of Time they kept it at a certain graphical fidelity so that you don't mess that up visually, and it being nostalgia driven, you keep thinking, this just feels and looks the way it's always felt and looked. But you're not noticing the subtle changes Grezzo and Nintendo did to Ocarina of Time to make it more playable. And Majora's Mask even more so, because they redid some of the mission design so that not that it would necessarily be easier, but you wouldn't have that much difficulty keeping track of of goals, of missions, and you'd have a much more accessible time with the game. So yeah, I'm kind of bummed on that. Furthermore, I've been playing Tales of Crestoria. I ran into the same problem you did when you restarted the game. My save game is completely gone, so I had to do it all over from the beginning. And it's kind of frustrating because I think, you know what? What's the point? I got so far and now I have to do it all over again. I mean, it runs great on my new phone, but it's kind of annoying to have to go through everything all over again. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should drop it. Maybe I should just play something untainted.
It gets kind of monotonous at a certain point and not very fun. I think my problem, it was just like kind of the same thing over and over again, and then the enemies didn't really change, and then it's just like I don't know. Something about just going in that straight line in that path just like fighting the same types of enemies over and over and over again just got me so bored of it.
Yeah, I mean, with a traditional RPG, you have that, but at least you move from area to area, and then you have different enemies, or
you have a little more freedom somewhere.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. And next to our main game of the topic, Genshin Impact. What do you think of Genshin Impact?
I've really been enjoying it. Like I say, and like a lot of other people are saying, how is this game free? Like, because it doesn't, you would think a game that looks like that has gacha mechanics, you would think at some point it would force you to do gacha stuff. You don't need it at all, to be honest. Unless you're, like, at least right now.
Well, the thing with gacha is, it can either be very aggressive, which most gacha games are. And then you'll have kind of this barrier that prevents you from progressing through the game or the story. And then it kind of subtly nudges you towards paying money so that you can unlock better characters, better gear, or level boosters. And then you have...
Although... For this, like, at least I haven't needed any money because you get those gems from just doing stuff around the world.
Yeah, I was getting to that because there are some gacha games that are very forgiving, like Dragalia Lost and now Genshin Impact, which basically don't need you to pay anything. You can just enjoy the game as is. And you don't have that many barriers. I was previously playing Lord of Heroes on my mobile phone, which is also a free-to-play gacha-esque game from Korea, but I dropped it because there was this barrier where I just had to grind over and over again, and if I didn't do that, I'd have to pay for level boosters or better characters, and I wasn't about that. And nothing makes me drop a game faster than having those artificial barriers. So far, Genshin Impact has been fun for me. I think it's a very pretty game. The music is very good. The soundtrack is on Spotify, by the way, if you're interested in that. The only thing I'd knock against it is that the game kind of feels too easy. But I'm guessing they did that with multiplayer in mind, because it kind of has this MMO-esque feeling. It's not like your traditional open world RPG where there's some level of difficulty. Granted, there are dungeons with higher levels, but it's not designed to be that challenging.
And because Kazuma Hashimoto from Siliconera, he's been doing, he started doing a couple of today streamed it, and was basically taking down level 30 enemies with a level like 4 character.
Yeah,
which is not that hard, and that's without upgrading weapons.
So far, the enemies aren't that aggressive, so you can kind of kite them and kind of pick them off one by one, and
yeah, that's what I try to do.
You should be fine. But yeah.
And then I like how the combat is simple, but also like you do have to think about, especially when you're facing multiple enemies, it's better to like constantly switch between characters for those elemental combo effects. Like how the ice and fire does melt, or how ice and lightning does superconduct, or ice and hydro does overcharge.
Yeah, it's pretty neat that they have that, because it does make you feel like the developers put thought into the game world and the mechanics, and having you have kind of like this tactical insight into battles, because you don't want to just keep knocking enemies with your bow and arrow, or with your sword or what have you. But
yeah, well, especially because apparently the character that you get who has a bow and arrow that you get for free, Amber, apparently for a bow character, she's not great.
Yeah, I'd say the bow mechanics aren't that satisfying, because the aiming kind of feels a bit
off, right?
Stiff.
Yeah,
it's like you can never get a precise enough shot to hit an enemy, but
you really gotta move your character more. You have to aim and then move your character while you're aiming, until not necessarily move the bow so much, because it goes a little too far. So you have to. Yeah. That's what I figured. Especially when you're trying to hunt birds to get food.
I mean, I just knock over the crates and find food there, and so I'm not that bothered with it.
How do you feel about the exploration? Because I've kind of liked it. Apparently, it gets it's a lot cooler in the second region when you get to it.
So far, I've been having fun, because with this being it being kind of this beautiful open world, I just want to explore it, and it's not a game I'm familiar with, or a franchise I'm familiar with, so I don't know what I can expect when I go above this cliff, or beyond this ridge, or between these mountains. So I'm just exploring and seeing how the world works. And usually I see something off in the distance, like a treasure chest, and I'm like, ooh, I wonder what's in there.
Like, my one complaint for that right now is that the areas, at least in the first region, they're all too similar. Like, you're always finding the same, what are the goblin things? Hilly churls?
the bokoblins?
Yeah. And you're like always finding those, and it's just like, can we get a little variety? I mean, every once in a while, if you have like a side quest, like a quest or something, you might see some bandits, but otherwise, like, and I understand it's probably like that because it's the first area, and this game just came out, but I don't know.
And it's probably also because of the MMO design. It's kind of introductory, and you just have a lot of those enemies from the start.
And then the other thing is, it takes a really long time. This game has co-op, but you can't do co-op until your adventure rank 16, which has been taking a while. I'm like very slowly crawling my way to rank 10 right now.
That's kind of the gacha model. You kind of have to progress through the story a bit and hit a certain level before you can unlock multiplayer.
And then like but then like the other problem is like, and maybe I'm just not finding the characters, but like right now I don't have any quests I can do, so I've just been exploring, but exploring doesn't get you that much adventure experience.
Okay. Are you following the story? Because
I can't follow the story because I'm not ranked 10. I thought you have to be ranked 10 to keep doing the story.
Oh, I wouldn't know. I'm just I think I'm at adventure rank 5 or 6.
So that's kind of the problem.
I mean, there are guides online now, so
yeah, I've been trying to look them up, but like the one guide I was reading earlier today just said like, oh yeah, just explore and do this and do that, and I'm like, that's what I've been doing, but it's not really
Hmm.
I want to say it's going that fast. I asked my friend about it because my friend was super excited about it, and I was like, "Hey, so how are you liking it?" And he's like, "Well, I'm already ranked 22, so that's how I'm liking it." I was like, "Jeez."
Yeah.
But no, I like it. I kind of don't like I understand why everybody says, "Oh, well, it's just anime Breath of the Wild," but like it has its own merits, right?
I mean, my problem with that take is, so it's cell shaded. A lot of games are cell shaded. A lot of games have the same mechanics. It's fine.
Yeah, like climbing and gliding were things in video games long before Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it's just that this combination just makes it feel like it's ripping off Breath of the Wild, when it's inspired by Breath of the Wild. The developer said as much. But to call it a clone would be a bit of a disservice. I'd say play a bit more MMORPGs, and then you'll have a true feeling for what the game is. There are elements of Breath of the Wild, but that's not the only game I'm seeing in it when I'm playing it.
Oh, and the last problem with it that I'll mention, and this might be only a problem I'm having, but I'm not sure, is that I prefer using a controller, but I have to, every single time I boot up the game, I have to go in and manually change it to that.
Oh, that's a bummer.
So that, I don't know if it's like a weird bug or if that's just a thing I have. Like, it only takes a few seconds, but it's just very annoying. I was shocked before I knew how to get to the settings and everything. The mouse and keyboard controls are very responsive. So, like, I don't think they're bad. They're just not my preferred method. So I just have to switch to the controller every time. And then the last thing before we get into the news and everything, is what is your opinion on Paimon? Because I have seen mixed things on this little fairy lady.
Listen, I've seen enough anime and I've played enough JRPGs to run into the obligatory mascot character that might be grating to some people. My opinion is she's fine. Just don't.
Yeah, thank you.
Come again?
Thank you, because I see people saying, "Oh, Paimon's so annoying," and I'm like, "You have you not played World of Final Fantasy? Because I guarantee you that Tama is much worse."
I mean, you have that. You have the what are they called in the Xenoblade series? The potato-esque.
The pawn, or not
pawn,
hero pawn. No pawn?
Something like that.
Was it?
I mean, they have.
He was fine. Riki was fine.
No, look. They have an annoying speech mannerism. And they're usually used as a gag or a punchline, not like an actual character with actual depth to explore. And I don't know what to say about
that. Like, Paimon just speaks in third person. That's not that, and she's actually not that consistent. Depending on the quest, she's actually not that consistent. Because she said something like, I forgot what she said, but she either said my, I think she said my instead of Paimon, and I was like, oh, what? Whoops. Did they forget to do that?
It might be that because it's originally a game in Chinese, that the translation might be kind of iffy.
Well, that was a voiced line.
Yeah, but
so that's why I was like, whoa.
I mean, the translation from Chinese to English, and then that being voiced can also be iffy.
Yeah, and I'm also playing the dub because I actually like the dub voices in this.
The dub is fine. The dub is really
it's
good.
A little inconsistent with some characters. The performance is a little inconsistent, but that's what's going to happen in an MMO where you have a bunch of characters anyway. So
yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I'll see. Hopefully, I get to rank 16 and I can start playing with other people soon enough. because I really want to see what that's like.
I mean, you could always buy a booster pack.
I don't want to do that. Hey, if the game is free, I'm paying until I don't have. I mean, I'm not paying until I have to.
True.
Okay, so.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no! I was gonna move on, but if you had something else to say, go ahead.
It's not that important yet. Let's play.
Okay.
Let's play Genshin Impact a little longer, and I'll come back to it.
Okay. All right. So moving on to the In From Japan J-List, recent video game related entertainment news. We have 4 pieces of news. We have Sega 60th anniversary live concert announced with music from Persona, Sonic, Yakuza, and Phantasy Star Online. This is by Sato for Silicon Era. Sega announced a 60th anniversary live concert set for this December that will feature music from Sonic the Hedgehog, Phantasy Star Online, Sakura Wars, Yakuza, and Persona. There's a teaser visual, features 60 characters from Sega and Atlas games to commemorate Sega's 60th anniversary. And a lot of it is blocked out, so maybe we'll get some Skies of Arcadia.
Let's not give the people hope.
The live concert occurs on December 19, 2020 at 7 p.m. Japanese Standard Time, provided by Pia Livestream. The show itself will take place in an empty Toyosu pit venue. Whoa, so it's actually in a... That's interesting. Standard ticket price is 3,900 yen, about $40. A limited ticket that comes with an original card will also be available for the same price until October 11, 2020. A limited edition ticket plus t-shirt pack will also be available for 7,400 yen until November 1st, 2020. Those who purchase tickets for the live concert stream will get to re-watch the show from December 19, 2020 at 7 p.m. JST until December 21st, 2020 at 11:59 p.m. JST. The performance will last about 2 hours. It doesn't say whether this is a worldwide thing like the Monster Hunter one, though. Unfortunately. I feel like we would know that if it would have that information, but who knows? Sega might be doing things a different, like distributing other versions a different way. Who
Possible.
knows?
Who knows?
I'm still thinking about getting tickets to that Monster Hunter thing because, I mean, it's on Saturday, but it's also just really early in the morning, and I don't know if I want to spend the money to do that when I could just listen to the soundtrack on Spotify.
I mean,
there's something about if I was going to the actual concert, that would be a little different.
Yeah, that's a little different. You'll be fine.
Next we have, hopefully we get through this whole pandemic, and then by the time concerts are a thing again, we could have by then we'll have the live concert will also include music from Stories 2 and Rise.
Yeah.
So
fingers crossed.
There you go. Next in the J list we have Resident Evil Infinite Darkness to release on Netflix in 2021. This is by Kazuma Hashimoto for Silicon Era. Resident Evil Infinite Darkness has been officially announced through Capcom's Tokyo Game Show 2020 broadcast. A teaser for the upcoming Netflix series was released prematurely, revealing that Leon Scott Kennedy and Claire Redfield will be partnering up yet again in Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. Infinite Darkness will be episodic, unlike previous Resident Evil CGI projects like Damnation or Vendetta or Degeneration. The creators behind the upcoming series were secretive about any further details concerning Infinite Darkness. However, key art for the series was shared during the broadcast and features Leon and Claire sitting in a room with blood splattered behind them. More info will be released in the future. So, people are confused about this because there was also a live action series in development.
The Wesker Kids?
But that's what it was. But people were like, "Oh, is this going to replace the live action series?" It's like, no, people just forgot to. I guess Netflix just forgot to mention that one.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was quietly canned in favor of this. Who knows?
Or they didn't clarify enough because this is a continuation of the existing CG series of movies. Only this time it'll be episodic.
which aren't bad. I've seen
They're
Degeneration
entertaining.
and Damnation.
That's all I'll say.
I have not seen Vendetta.
There's a lot of gun fu in it. It's very entertaining.
Yeah. Next J-list article is first official Kirby art book announced by HAL Laboratory. This is by Oni Dino for Siliconera. Or Oni Dino? One of those. Kirby art book was recently announced by series developer HAL Laboratory. This will be the first official art book for the series from HAL Laboratory itself. The book will feature over 500 pieces of artwork from Star Allies, including art from the 3 sets of post-launch updates. In addition to sketches, scenery, and development art, the book will also include interviews and messages from key members of the development team. Kirby Star Allies, the original art book, will be available in 2 versions, a standard edition and a side edition with signatures from the creators at HAL Laboratory. Only 40 signed books will be available in total. Wow. And fans will need to enter into a drawing to get one.
That's
book is
extremely
scheduled
limited.
to release on March 16, 2021. Pre-orders for both versions are available now through entry for the signed edition's drawing is only open until October 31st. Both versions will cost 2,970 yen, including tax, and are sold through Value Mail. However, shipping outside of Japan is not available, so overseas Kirby fan will have to use a third-party service. I'm sure they'll release the non-signed version in English at some point.
Probably.
So that's great. I believe it's either was it this year or next year? I think next year might be Kirby's 40th anniversary.
I'll look it up real quick.
Or somewhere soon.
Let's see. Kirby Arkansas. No, not that one. Kirby series.
Or this year. No, this year. It's this year. According to this article by Nintendo Life, the 40th anniversary is this year.
Yeah, it's...
Although they're not doing... How is Kirby older than Mario?
Well,
That's crazy.
It started in 1992. So
Didn't Mario start in the 80s?
yeah, Mario started in the 80s.
So
I'm
how is
seeing
Mario 35?
Maybe the first...
Oh, his creation originally founded... Okay, that was the... It was because the studio... Okay, it's the 40th anniversary of the creation of HAL Laboratory.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Okay, it's not Kirby's 40th anniversary. It's the developer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do wonder if we'll get like a Kirby collection or something for his next anniversary. Like the one, that one that was on Wii.
Who knows?
I hope we do. There have also been reports that there may be a Kirby 3D game in the works from the Fighters 2 data mine. But who knows?
I mean, it could also just be like debug
because I know there was supposed to be that Kirby 3D game for
something
GameCube
that was
canceled. Yeah.
So I don't think.
I guess we'll see.
It's a sign of things to come.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, it could not be. Who knows?
Yeah.
And the last article on the J list.
Kind of data. Yeah.
I mean, I guess we'll see. I'm not taking like too much. I'm not getting too excited about it, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Last article on the J list is Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai, Hulu and Crunchyroll debut set. This is by Jenny Latta for Siliconera. It will be a lot easier for people outside of Japan to watch one Dragon Quest anime adaptation. Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai is headed to both Hulu and Crunchyroll, with the service it's on varying depending on the person's region. Toei Animation took to Twitter to confirm it will be available this weekend, presumably with streaming beginning on October 3rd, 2020. This Dragon Quest anime follows a young man named, as you might guess, Dai. He wants to bring peace to the world, which leads him to train with his mentor, Avin, and eventually head out on his own quest. As you might expect, the young man ends up on a save the world sort of adventure. Here's a list going over where people will be able to watch the show starting this weekend. Anime Digital Network in France, Crunchyroll in Africa, Australia, Europe, the Middle East, North America, Latin America, and New Zealand, and Hulu in the US. If Died looks familiar, it's because he actually made a worldwide game debut recently. Oh yeah. Multiple titles in development. Also, the just to add on to that, there's I guess it's officially fall anime season. And the Inuyasha sequel Yashahime, I believe, also premieres this weekend.
Yeah, the 3rd of October, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Are you excited
so I'll check
for
that
it?
out and I'll report back. Yes. Although I do wish we had the right. We had the like Crunchyroll had the rights to broadcast the older series too. Even though that the whole reason this is being made is because I think that first series was never completely finished.
That
also
never finished.
Just to add on.
Yeah, that's not
the
true.
the manga was finished, but the anime
season,
series
right?
never properly finished. For the Dragon Quest, not Inuyasha.
Oh, okay.
Also, Digimon Last Evolution Kizuna is out digitally, and I plan on watching that. I'll talk about that next week, hopefully too.
All right.
So a lot of anime stuff, a lot of good anime stuff coming out. All right, moving on to recommended content, where we list out content other than news from the past week. And put the links in the description. We have What We Want from Final Fantasy 16 by Alex Stadnick over at Game Informer. Monster Hunter Rise, 43 minutes of gameplay, Gamatsu via YouTube. There's a couple of gameplay things from TGS 2020, and Sal Romano provides a little bit of a breakdown, because most of these gameplay footage videos are in Japanese, if they have narration. Some of them have English narration too, though. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity Champions Unite trailer, 14 minutes of gameplay, Gamatsu via YouTube. Earth Defense Force 6, 10 minutes of gameplay, Gamatsu via YouTube. Earth Defense Force World Brothers, 33 minutes of gameplay, Gamatsu via YouTube. How Scarlet Nexus uses RPG elements alongside action by Ezra Crab for IGN. Genshin Impact devs say Zelda Breath of the Wild was a big inspiration, but their game is very different by Liana Rupert for Game Informer. Interview Preparing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links for Zexal by Jenny Latta for Siliconera. Games localization on the fun and difficulties of translating by Oni Dino for Siliconera. How to obtain, intertwine, and antiquate fate in Genshin Impact by Kazuma Hashimoto for Siliconera. Genshin Impact Impressions, the new free-to-play gacha game by Gene Park for the Washington Post. Why You Need to Play Nier Automata by Jason Guisad for Game Informer. What to Expect from Monster Hunter Stories 2 by Jenny Latta over at Michibiku. Feature, Don't Underestimate Bakugan Champions of Vestroia. It's shaping up to be a cool Switch exclusive by Xeon Grassel for Nintendo Life. And Bakugan Champions of Vestroia gameplay looks deep and accessible by Benjamin Maltby for Siliconera. Alright, now it's time for the news rundown, and we have one piece of bad-ish news for Jason to go over, so take it away, Shinigami.
Okay, Bankai. First up, we have Japan Amusement Expo 2021 cancelled physically. This is by Kite Stenbuck for Silicon Era, and once again, the best name in the business. Japan Amusement Industry Association, the JAIA, announced that the Japan Amusement Expo JAEPO 2021, originally scheduled to be held physically in February 2021, has been officially cancelled. The organizer is now considering whether to hold an online business meeting session to replace the physical event or not. You can click on the article for further information. But as we have seen with the growing trend this year, is that a lot of expos and conventions are being cancelled.
Well,
so
this one specifically is interesting because it's specifically geared towards new arcade games, And since arcades have not been doing so well with this pandemic, it kind of makes sense that they would cancel it, even though it's not for a while.
You also have to consider that maybe arcade cabinets would be interacted with a lot physically, and you kind of want to limit physically interacting with objects on a convention floor.
Yes.
So,
which I don't think, like, once this pandemic has like the world has more of a handle, like, because I'm pretty sure Japan's healthcare is decent. But it does depend on what part of Japan you live in, whether, like, how many cases there are, of course.
Sure.
But I don't think it's gonna, like, I don't think this pandemic is going to, like, destroy the arcade industry there. You know what I mean?
Let's hope not.
Because, yes, it did close down that one big arcade, but that is a specific, like, you know how many other of those? There are like 2 more of those, like, right next to it.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I'm hoping we still have arcades in the future. At least, like, that we're still able to. Because, like, especially here in America, we don't really have, you know, we have a few barcades. And those are great, but we don't know if those are gonna last. And then we have, the Dave and Buster's and the, a couple movie theaters, which is another topic altogether because they're not doing so hot, but they have like old arcade machines.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we'll see. I really hope we can still manage to keep arcades once we get through all this.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed.
Maybe just people can practice a bit better hygiene.
It's not just the hygiene, but that's a good start.
No, I know, but it would help. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So now, moving on to another news. So there was some Monster Hunter. Besides the Monster Hunter Rise footage, there was a little tiny bit of Monster Hunter Stories 2 information. And I was insanely disappointed because they had a bunch of info for Rise, and then for Stories, they just replayed the trailer and they were like, basically, it'll have a character creator and it'll have a few new weapons.
Well,
and that's all they said.
My thought behind that is that maybe because that's releasing later, they'll eventually talk a bit more about that down the line when Rise has been released.
I think somewhere they said gameplay wasn't quite in a state they felt like good enough to show yet.
Yeah, well,
and that's why we haven't seen actual gameplay yet. I can't remember where I saw that though. I wonder, because of the fact that you can carry over data from the 3DS version of Generations Ultimate, or the 3DS versions of Generations or Generations Ultimate to the Switch version. So you don't have to redo a bunch of stuff. Obviously, Stories, it would be different, but I'm wondering, because they know how to do a 3DS to Switch transfer like that, I wonder if it will allow you to at least carry over appearance data.
I mean, they could, or they could tie that.
You don't need to, but that would be a cool little feature. I don't know. Or maybe that's what the Rise thing is. What if you could just have a more anime-ified version of your character from Rise?
I think that would be the smarter thing to do business-wise, because you want to sell both copies. So I'm guessing they'll say, like, oh, if you have your Monster Hunter Rise save data, you can unlock this armor. Or if you have the amiibo, you can unlock this Palico set, or this this monster egg.
I do plan on getting the the collector's edition of Rise with the Magna Malo amiibo. I don't know if I want the other 2 amiibo, but if they come out with a collector's edition of Stories 2, I'm getting that.
Definitely.
But they also said, so one of the new weapons is the hunting horn, and then I don't think we know what the other new weapons are yet. Because in the original, I believe it was hammer, Great Sword, Sword and Shield, and maybe one other thing, but I can't remember. Anyways, yeah, I look forward to that.
Okay.
I look forward to more info on that. Next, we have Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory multiplayer will let up to 8 players battle for the best score. This is by Kazuma Hashimoto for Silicon Arrow. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory will have multiplayer. In friend versus mode, up to 8 people can participate in the multiplayer mode to compete to receive the highest score on the selected stage. The TGS stream mentioned the local multiplayer will also be available. Double play mode is another multiplayer mode in Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory that was shown off during the broadcast. 2 players can engage in co-op and work together to complete stages. Additional info was shared, including different difficulties like Proud mode, and there are also beginner and normal modes. 3 different types of button configurations: single button, normal, and performer are the 3 button schemes, each tailored to a different level of proficiency regarding rhythm games. I wonder if I could use the Taiko drum controller for this.
I mean, I wouldn't advise it, but try it.
I'm gonna try. Other features outside of multiplayer include the museum, where players will be able to rewatch cutscenes, listen to music, and view artwork. Alright. And it comes out on November 11th, 2020 in Japan, and November 13th, 2020 in North America and Europe for Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. And the next story, a free demo will be available in this month, in October. I'm guessing this is also by Kazuma Hashimoto. Free demo for Melody of Memory will be in October 20. Be available. Oh, they meant to. He meant to put available, but it just says will be in October 20. Well, I guess that's technically right.
It will be. Not available.
It will.
It just will be.
It just will.
Okay.
This information was revealed at the tail end of the broadcast. Contents of the free demo have not yet been disclosed, only the approximate estimation of when it will release.
All right.
So
look out for it.
Yeah, so look forward to trying it out.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we have Sega teases Virtua Fighter Cross Esports project. This is by Sato for Silicon Era. While there hasn't been a new Virtua Fighter game in quite some time, Sega teased the Virtua Fighter Cross Esports project as part of its 60th anniversary. First, here's a look for the teaser for the project. You can click on the article for the teaser. And the article continues. The video shows past Virtua Fighter tournaments and then talks about bringing back the heat and passion to the showdown. It ends with a shot featuring the series mascot and Baiji-Kwan fighter. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Baiji-Kwan fighter Akira Yuki. So this broke over the last weekend, I'd like to say. And I was
because it was a TGS announcement, right?
And I was following what's he called, Maximilian Dude on YouTube this week, and he mentioned, because he was reacting to the stream, and he mentioned that this is probably most likely going to be a reboot of the series, because that's what he got from the translation, the way they phrased their wording surrounding the game. So this could be pretty huge in a few years, I think. I'm excited. I've never played a Virtua Fighter game, I think, and this is kind of the granddaddy of all 3D fighters. There would not be a Tekken without Virtua Fighter, like literally, because the designer, I think, of Virtua Fighter went to Namco and created Tekken, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the genesis of a lot of the games you like from the FGC community, and kind of like the pun there, the genesis. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait. Next up, we have Konami games like Metal Gear and Castlevania come to GOG. This is by Jenny Lada for Silicon Era. Well, that was fast. Earlier this morning, I think this was 6 days ago. Earlier this morning, Konami and GOG were teasing people about Metal Gear Solid games on Twitter with emoji-laden tweets. Now, GOG has confirmed that Konami Collector Series, Castlevania and Contra, Metal Gear Solid, and Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance are all available on its site. There's even a special product page celebrating the classic Konami games. The oldest game, in this collection is Metal Gear. It's $5.99 US and gives people a chance to play the game that started it all, and that once graced the NES. People can then move on to the more modern Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance, which are each $9.99 US. All three games support cloud saves. Yeah. Oh, and that's cool. If you pick up the $5.99 US Konami Collector Series, Castlevania and Contra, they will actually get a compilation of 5 Konami games: Castlevania, Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest, Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse, Contra, and Super C. So that's a lot of good content coming to or on GOG currently.
Yeah,
I'm thinking.
Why is it? Do you think these are going to come to Steam eventually too, or?
I think so. I think GOG, because they have that brand of being kind of the safe haven for old games or older games. But if Konami is smart, they'll probably also put it on Steam, because there's kind of no getting around Steam being the biggest marketplace for PC games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next up, we also have another Konami game announcement. Konami announces Eden's Zero third-person action RPG for console and a top-down action RPG for mobile. This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Konami has announced 2 Eden's Zero games, a third-person action RPG for consoles and a top-down action RPG for mobile. Specific platforms and release dates were not announced. And if you click on the article, there's also a look at the anime that will come April 2021. And a lot of screenshots for the game. It's looking really good. It's kind of super polished. There are a lot of costumes that are not present in the manga as of yet, so I'm guessing they're game specific or anime specific. There are also trailers for the English version and the Japanese version of the game, and it's looking really good. I'm definitely excited for it. I'm also up to date with the manga, and yeah, it could be a very fun ride. Probably also filled with a lot of fan service. So if that's your niche, get on it. Okay.
Yeah.
There's also one extra bit of Eden's Zero news. Eden's Zero action RPG will have plenty of customization and 3-dimensional action. This is by Sato for Silicon Era. Hiro Mashima's latest manga, Eden Zero, is getting a new 3D action RPG for consoles from Konami. Producer Shin Murata talked about the development of the upcoming game adaptation in this week's issue of Famitsu magazine. Here are some highlights from the Eden's Zero game producer Shin Murato interview. The game will feature a vast number of equipment and costumes to customize and dress up characters. Because if you're unfamiliar, they change up their costumes every story arc. In the Eden Zero game, you'll get to fly across its vast field from the original work. You'll also get to run on the walls and ceilings of most areas. This is because the main character has this gravity gear that lets him manipulate the gravity around him. So that kind of lets him stick to walls.
Wait, so are you telling me this is going to be like Gravity Rush?
I'm guessing, but probably a bit.
Oh my god!
But probably a bit more straightforward, because you also have the 3 or 4 other characters that'll consist of your party, or which your party will consist of, that also have their abilities, and they don't have gravity abilities.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. The 3-dimensional movement style will tie directly to the battle. Playable characters other than Shiki will get to use 3-dimensional action. I don't know what that means, but okay. And development is currently at around 40% to 50% complete. That is impressive. The Eden Zero manga started in June 2018 in Weekly Shonen magazine. The manga series currently has 11 volumes, and an anime is scheduled to begin in April 2021.
I feel like by the time it comes out, we'll be like a good enough chunk into the anime that people will be like more aware of it. You know,
I'm guessing they're timing the release very close to each other so that you have this media blitz of remember this popular manga? It's got an anime now, and there's also a game coming out, and there's also a mobile version. So they're trying to conquer every corner of the market, as you will.
Yeah, I need to read it.
I'd say it starts off very slow. You're also, since you're a fairy tale fan, you're gonna have a lot of deja vu, but you have to make peace with the fact that Mashima reuses story concepts and characters throughout his whole body of work.
Well, yeah, I mean, Happy's in it.
Yes and no. That's all I'll say.
I mean, no, I know. I read about it. He's different, but he's not.
Also, character design wise,
same appearance, different origin.
Similar appearance, because this Happy is a bit more rounded.
I did not realize that.
As opposed to the more slender Happy from the fairy tale manga.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
I mean, it's a very minor thing, and
it's a subtle change.
I'm very pedantic about these things, so I'm the only one who probably notices this, so it's fine.
Oh, they made him rounder.
Yeah. It's the first thing I noticed, because I was reading the manga.
Is Plu still in this one?
Yes.
Good.
And Plu is the running gag for being a dog. That's not a dog.
Like in Rave Master.
Yeah.
You gotta keep the carrot-nosed dog in the Mashima series.
Fun fact, Plu is one of the first characters Mashima ever drew and wrote.
He just decided, I'm gonna make a weird dog snowman thing.
No, the manga is about a group of kind of pharmaceutical villains kidnapping dogs and creating like their own super dogs.
Oh, the original manga that Plu is from?
Yeah. They're creating
I thought it was from Rave Master.
No. It's from his first work. His literal first work. And you also have the origin of the Jalal face tattoo and the use of magic. So trust me when I say he reuses a lot of his material.
I might just put Plu in the thumbnail. As an Easter egg for this episode now.
Yes, do this.
I mean, I already made the thumbnail. I just have to add him in, and they'll be like, "What does this have to do with?"
You'll have to find out.
Yeah. It doesn't. Okay, next story. Megaton Musashi TGS 2020 online trailer gameplay anime to air summer 2021. iOS and Android versions seemingly no longer planned. This is by Saruman for Gamatsu. Level 5, the company that's constantly struggling, I mean, it doesn't say that, but has released the Tokyo Game Show 2020 online trailer and 3 gameplay videos for cooperative robot action RPG Megaton Musashi, as well as announced that the Megaton Musashi anime will air in summer 2021. Additionally, the game's official website no longer lists iOS and Android as supported platforms. It is now only planned for release on PlayStation 4 and Switch. A release date is still unannounced. Here's an overview of the game's story via an official website. An Earth stolen by aliens. In an ordinary town, the people lived a quiet and fulfilled life. However, they did not know it was a false peace. The truth to which they were unaware is that Earth had already been destroyed. 99% of mankind perished by the attack of a mysterious alien force from space called Dractors. Eventually, a giant hole was formed in the Earth, terraforming the planet into a suitable alien nest. Mankind had no choice but to escape and hide in shelters. This is starting to sound a lot like Gurren Lagann. Kind of.
Yeah.
While they do not know when the day will come, they await their comeback. In Shelter Ixia, the residents' memories of the day of destruction were erased, and they live an ordinary life underground. No, I added the underground part. Unknowing of the truth. However, among them are the chosen ones who became pilots and operate giant robots called rogues to fight against the aliens. And today, a new pilot will be chosen once again and use his drill to pierce the sky. No.
Are you sure you're not writing Gurren Lagann fanfiction right now?
No. This game sounds like Gurren Lagann fanfiction.
Sure.
At least from that story description.
Yeah.
There was gameplay for this. I think I put it in the... No, I did not put it in the recommended content. There was some gameplay shown for this. As it said in the article. So you can check those out.
Okay.
It looks interesting. Definitely a level with the way with the art style. It's like, yeah, this is definitely a level 5 game. Although it's a more...
It's a different art style. It kind of reminds me of Danganronpa for some reason.
Yeah, it's a little more... It's not like the silly and cute like Yokai Watch style. It's a little more like...
Edgy?
Edgy, yeah. I didn't want to use the word edgy, but yeah.
It's edgy, just use the word.
Although it's a level 5 game, so it will still be... It'll probably be relatively lighthearted, I think. Although, with that story, who knows? I don't know, the gameplay looks interesting. We have no idea whether it'll get localized, but we'll see. Like I said a while back, when this game was first announced, or it was announced that they were still working on it, I'm very curious to see how they deal with giant robots, since they have already have experience with smaller robots, Little Battlers experience series.
How do I explain this? I saw the gameplay, so I'm guessing it'll be like the Sentai-esque, kaiju-esque giants roaming about the countryside.
I'm just wondering how similar, or if it will be that similar to Little Battlers experience.
I don't think so, from what I've seen.
Like what gameplay elements or what lessons they took from that series.
Yeah. I mean,
if
Level 5's PR ever gets back to us, we'll probably go for that big interview and ask them this.
Did I email Level? I don't even remember doing that.
You were looking them up and you couldn't find them, so...
Yeah, I like at this point I might just like try to find an English voice actor for like Yokai Watch at the one of the, not Johnny Young Bosch, because I can't. I'm not, but the person who replaced him, Brent Pendergrass. I might try to contact him or somebody else just to be like, hey, do you know what's going on?
They probably don't. It's probably the agency that sets them up with these roles. So you'll
like who knows? It's weird, right?
You'd have better luck with the agencies.
Yeah, we'll figure it out someday.
Okay, next up we have...
I gave somebody my contact info at Anime Expo 2019, and I completely forgot who they were, and I was like, man, I should have contacted them. Or maybe I did contact them and they never got back to me. I don't even remember. Anyways.
Moving on.
Yeah, we'll figure something out someday. I did write a whole retrospective on Level 5, so... Earlier this year. That was earlier this year, right? At the beginning of this year.
It was earlier this year. Okay,
going
ahead.
Level 5, call us, email us.
We have Final Fantasy 16 producer talks about the announcement trailer teaser website coming late October. This is by Sato for Silicon Era. Final Fantasy 16 producer Naoki Yoshida talked about the upcoming title for the first time since its announcement during a Final Fantasy special program. I mean, FF14 special program on Square Enix Presents at TGS 2020. The talk about Final Fantasy 16 in the Final Fantasy 14 program started courtesy Yoko Taro with the following. Yoko Taro speaking So today we have the two of Yosuke Saito and Yoko Taro for a 14 FF14 program. So that means you have the numbers 2 plus 14 to make 16. Yosuke Saito, 16? No way, 16? Yoko Taro, we're changing today's program for a special. Now, okay, do you want me to read all of this? Because it basically boils down to... It's a whole bit where Yoshida is talking to Yoko Taro, and Yoko Taro is kind of teasing him about Final Fantasy 16. And Yoshida budged and gave a bit of tidbits on Final Fantasy 16. Wait.
Yoko Taro is an international treasure, and he must be protected at all costs.
Let me get to the juicy bits. This is Yoshida speaking. No, please wait. This program is about 14, but we indeed announced Final Fantasy 16. However, I want to wait until 2021 to release more info so that we can focus on its development, or so I thought. But I'm getting this, what the hell are you doing vibe here from Yoko Taro. Anyways, it doesn't even have a teaser website right now, but we'll have one sometime around the end of October. I'm thinking about launching the teaser site and releasing a bit of info surrounding the characters and world. Then after that, I want to focus on development. And he continues, we did put some work into it. How do I put it? For this trailer, I wanted to avoid going with something incredibly rendered than showing the logo like BAM. I wanted to show in-game material moving in real time as much as possible. However, we're running a bit tight on time and we hardly did any optimizing or fine-tuning, so it was a little problematic. Especially these days since we tend to compare with other recent releases. However, if we went with a rendered trailer, then it's like, I'll see you guys in 2035. I've actually seen those comments coming from America. For now, I wanted to show something moving in real time. I mean, this trailer didn't show any of the game's selling points, so we'll have something the next time after giving it some more work. So, if you're following me on Twitter, you can regularly see me ranting about Square Enix and the way they approach their games and the way the games media has been reacting on their games. Because a majority of the comments after 16 was revealed was, oh, it kind of looks okay, not next-gen-ish, whatever that means, because what does a next-gen game look like? No one knows. Like, where are the raised puddles? Where's the god rays? And such. It's like, it's so tiring. And if you know anything about Final Fantasy development history, you know that focusing on graphics is the wrong direction to go in. Because that was where the trouble started with Final Fantasy 13, with Versus 13, with Final Fantasy 15, and with Final Fantasy 14. So you don't want them to focus on the graphics, because if Square Enix focuses on graphics, they'll just try to make it as pretty as possible and kind of lose themselves in that. You don't want that. Yoshida is a fundamentals guy. His philosophy is, let's make it playable, let's make it fun and engaging. We'll think about visuals afterwards. And if you've played Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn, or any of the subsequent DLC, you know that game can be very pretty. So it running as well as it did in that trailer, it being that flashy as is and seemingly effortlessly, that means it's very hard to pull off. Because if anything runs smoothly in a video and looks engaging enough, that's a lot of work. And if they're saying that's just the beginning of where they've been with development, just imagine what else they can pull off at the end of the road. And according to Jason Schreier, they've been in development for about 4 years now, I want to say. So it's much closer than you think. I'm guessing 2022 or end 2021. But I'm excited for the game. Just have an open mind. Not everything has to razzle dazzle you with CG-esque visuals. Just enjoy the ride. Because I'm sure people are still going to complain if it's very beautiful, but the gameplay sucks. So,
Yeah.
Rant over.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Next is Yakuza. Yakuza like a. I should be like Greg Miller. Yakuza. Yakuza Like a Dragon launches November 10th for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. March 2nd, 2021 for PS5 in the West. This is by Sal Romano over at Komatsu. Yakuza Like a Dragon will launch for PS4, Xbox One, and PC via Steam and the Microsoft Store alongside its previously announced Xbox Series release on November 10th, and for PlayStation 5 on March 2nd, 2021 in the West. Published by Sega and developer Ryu Gotoku Studio announced. So basically they moved up the other versions to the same day as the Xbox Series version.
Wait, I'm confused. Didn't they have like a little bit of an exclusivity period?
No. That's for... No. The PS5 one is still in March. But,
okay.
So for next gen consoles, yes. For everything else, no.
Wait. Oh, okay.
Like,
I get you.
Yeah. I still plan on getting the Series X version specifically.
I'll wait because I still have 0 to beat, and
like I do too, but it's more for me. It's more the gameplay that I'm interested in than the story specifically.
It's Dragon Quest-esque.
Yes. You know me,
Okay.
turn-based gameplay.
Oh, I know.
When it's engaging enough.
Yeah.
Users who purchase the digital PS4 version of Yakuza Like a Dragon will be able to download the PlayStation 5 version at no additional cost when it launches. Sega has confirmed that users who purchase the physical PlayStation 4 version will also be able to upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version at no additional cost. Save data will not be transferable. Which, this whole save data thing seems to be on a case-by-case basis. Some things work and some things don't. Like, Spider-Man Remastered, you can't do the save data. Miles Morales, you can. Yakuza 7, you can't.
Yeah, it's more of a problem with PS5 than it is with Xbox because...
Yeah, for PlayStation 5 specifically.
Yeah, like Xbox, their whole philosophy is everything should be backwards compatible.
Yeah, I really like that they're doing that.
Yeah.
Very good for... I think it's good, beneficial for video game preservation, at least.
Yeah.
And then more about Yakuza is Yakuza Free Play Days running on Xbox One until October 4th, 2020. This is by Jenny Lana for Siliconera. Clear your schedules for Kiryu-chan. Yakuza Free Play Days are here. Provided people have Xbox Live Gold, that is. Microsoft and Sega announced the offer, which lets people play Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami, and Yakuza Kiwami 2 until October 4th, 2020. During the event, people can download copies of all 3 games from the Microsoft Store. Then they can then play as much as they want. Once the weekend is over, all you'll have are the save files and access will be taken back. Though you can always buy copies and continue, or you could get Game Pass.
Yeah, which is the best deal in gaming.
Each game, if you rush and don't complete side stories, will probably take between 20 and 30 hours, so it sadly wouldn't be possible to completely beat each one. However, people could possibly get through one of them. I would recommend getting through 0 specifically, even though I've barely started it. That's the one I always see recommended the most.
Yeah, if you want to have a good starting place, 0 is where you should be at. I don't know. I think you could also wait till the reviews come in on Yakuza 7 to make up your mind if that's where you want to start, because it is a new hero for all intents and purposes. It should also be a clean start.
So somebody did tell me there are a lot of characters that return, and there are some things that you might not understand if you didn't play the other ones, but I just don't know how true that is.
I mean, it's a long-running series with the name 7 in it, so...
It's one of those things where I don't really mind. I could just look it up, and then I can play the other games later.
But if you do mind, if you're kind of...
Yeah. If you do mind...
If you're an obsessive RPG fan like me, you're going to want to play everything in order. So, Godspeed.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, we have the Xbox Series X hands-on preview.
So, you're going to do the Twitter thread, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the shorter version.
Yeah, this is by the homie, Michael Hyam for GameSpot, but we're going to be doing his Twitter thread.
It's kind of a TLDR.
Yeah, the Twitter thread is very neat and handy. If you want to read, give them a click. Give them a click. They deserve it.
They got a lot of flack, but they do good work when they're allowed to.
Yeah, they do good work regardless. Okay, quick things.
Well, yeah.
Load times are a big improvement, like big in capital letters. Even without Series X specific optimizations, about 70 to 80% of what Xbox One X takes. Quick resume is a legit dope feature to use, especially with all these Game Pass games. Takes about 8 seconds to switch games. Had 6 games suspended at once. So this is going to vary between games and between people, because Jeff Grubb for GameSpeed said that he had 4 games in suspension. Or was that Ryan McCaffrey? I might be mistaken, because they all blend together, all these previews at a certain point. But yeah, so I think depending on the size and how recent they are, you might have more games in suspension or less. So that's something to look out for. Some performance boost depends on the game. Had jumps with Final Fantasy 15 to constant 60 FPS in performance mode. 802 gigabyte of available internal storage space off the rip. This is something that also confused a lot of people, and you also had to wrap your head around it when you read it. This is a very common thing. You'll see it everywhere. With mobile phones, with new computers, with laptops, with tablets. You're never going to get the amount of storage space as advertised on the box. You're always going to have less because the operating system takes up a chunk. Updates, firmware take up a chunk.
So that would mean that the PS5, what was it, 825?
Yeah,
is probably even less than that.
I'm guessing about 700. You'll notice it when the previews come out that they'll be saying, "Oh, you have a lot less space than earlier advertised." But it can also be a difference in OS, because the Xbox One and Xbox Series X OS has a different install size or running size in comparison to the PlayStation 5 UI. So we'll see how that goes. But you can guess, or you can actually expect the PS5 install size or internal storage size to be a bit smaller out of the box. Okay, continuing, no Series X specific games yet, but updates are coming for this preview phase, and no 120 Hz content yet. He also made a chart with load time comparisons, and quickly, Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Series X loads within 38 seconds. That's a cold load from starting the game up to having a playable game world. And on the Xbox One X, so the current generation, that's 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Control loads in 10 seconds, while on the current gen it loads in 58 seconds, like a full minute. Final Fantasy 15 loads in 13 seconds, and on the current gen it loads within 1 minute and 11 seconds. The Outer Worlds in 11 seconds, and on current gen in 43 seconds.
Long story short, it's faster loading times.
Yeah, it's dummy quick. Not dummy thick, dummy quick. Xbox Series X comes with 820 gigabytes storage free. Drives never come with full capacity open, by the way, but almost 200 gigabyte unusable is a bit more than expected. Now it's got me thinking, how this gonna be for the Series S, which has a 512 gigabyte SSD? So I'm guessing it'll be about 480 free gigabytes of usable data storage.
Is that you saying that or him saying that?
It's me saying it's me guessing, because
Okay.
There's no Series S preview units in the wild yet. But I'm guessing it'll be about 480.
Because you would think they would have put it out both at the same time.
Sure, but
right?
But the general messaging this generation has been power, 4K, 60 FPS, 120 FPS, and the best way to make that case is to come out swinging out of the gate with all your guns blazing, not just with the cricket gun at start. But you don't have to worry that much with Series S because the 4K texture packs aren't available on Series S. You won't have the games eating up at your storage space, so you're gonna be just fine with Series S. But that's also dependent on if developers make use of the new hardware and software architecture. So we'll just have to see. But my guess is you'll be fine. And once again, give them a click for the full article and a full breakdown.
Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say, but that's cool. Faster loading times are always good.
Yeah. I mean, considering PS5 only has Demon's Souls and Miles Morales, I might just be that more interested in just getting a Series X, getting Game Pass, and just being fine for the foreseeable future. Or even a Series S, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're up next with Balan Wonderworld.
Balan Wonderworld. I always want to say Balan Wonderland.
Yeah, I just wanted to say the same thing.
This is by Sao Romano, for Siliconera. Oh no, for Gamatsu. Whoa. Whoa.
That's tricky.
I can't believe I said that. You know what? We're canceling the podcast. It's been fun.
Back to the drawing board.
Bye. Anyways, no. Sao Romano for Gamatsu. Square Enix has shared new information and screenshots for Yuji Naka-led action platformer Balan Wonderworld, introducing the game's main characters, Isle of Tim's location, enemies and bosses, and local cooperative mode. Get the details below. What is Balan Wonderworld? Balan Wonderworld, new action platformer based around the wondrous Balan Theater. You'll help two young heroes adventure in the bizarre and imaginary land of Wonderworld, a weird place where memories and vistas from the real world mix with things that people hold dear. You'll explore 12 different stages and explore labyrinth stages filled with tricks, traps, and enemies. As you explore, you'll find more than 80 special costumes which will imbue your character with special abilities, everything from freezing time to walking on air. Meet the cast, full of weird and wacky characters who will make your journey unforgettable, including Leo Craig, a 15-year-old boy who always tries to act cool, bit of a lone wolf. Several years ago, he had a big argument with his best friend, and since then, he's preferred to be alone. Emma Cole, 15-year-old girl who's always quick with a smile, but that happy front masks insecurity. She's always worried that people are nice to her face, but badmouth her when she's not listening. Balan, who I love Balan's design with the hat and stuff. This enigmatic maestro is Leo and Emma's and your guide to the wacky weirdness of Wonderworld. The consummate showman whose comical antics surprise audiences and leave them wanting more. Lance, one of the villains. He traps visitors to Wonderworld inside their own hearts, creating monsters out of their own negativity. Kingdom Hearts? I was like, man, you know what? And then I thought, man, it's too bad this is being published by Square Enix and not Sega, because then we could have like a Sega Kingdom Hearts platformer thing.
I don't think I want that, but okay. Also, did you know Yuji Naka said this is his only try at Square Enix? Because if this fails,
yeah, he said if this didn't do well, he's not.
But it's tough to say if he said that jokingly or if because
I don't know. You don't know the inflection.
Yeah, exactly.
In a written interview like that.
Oh well.
Wonderworld divided into multiple regions. The Isle of Tims. A whole isle full of Tims. Tim Schafer, Tim Geddes, Tim Curry. I'm just kidding.
I hope it's successful and Yuji Naka can keep being employed, but I'm kind of lukewarm because it kind of looks like every 3D Sonic game I've ever seen, or Knight's game.
It does look like it is by Sonic Team though, isn't it? Or a lot of
Yuji Naka. So,
yeah, and the art is definitely the same. Yeah. It's definitely the same art style.
But maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised.
I do like that art style though. Like I like how it's not doing it for. It's not Sonic characters.
It's charming.
Not that I have anything against Sonic. I just like not that I have anything against Sonic. I just like how it's been being used for something else. The beautiful and vibrant area called the Isle of Tims is influenced by positive emotions from people in the real world. Oh, that's nice.
So Chow Garden?
That's where Leo and Emma first arrived in Wonderworld. What do you say?
Is that the Chow Garden?
Chow Garden? And it acts as a hub for their adventures. From here, they'll be able to explore 12 worlds inside Hearts.
Okay.
Again, Kingdom Hearts. Distorted and dangerous areas created by negativity and worry. More on those areas in there's a little weird bird creature named Tim, created from happiness felt by people in the real world. And then you raise them. Oh, this is the Chow Garden. This is literally the Chow Garden.
Don't be surprised if you play the next Kingdom Hearts game and you'll see this cute nod to Balan Wonderland or Wonderworld.
Yeah. Yeah, so there is a Raising Tims. Is this just Sonic Adventure 2, but they made it more of a... I mean, okay, I guess Sonic Adventure 2 is a platformer technically, but they made it a more traditional 3D platformer. Anyways, there's a lot more, and there are boss battles, and now I'm a lot more excited for this game.
Okay, next up, we have... Or did you have any finishing thoughts?
I already said it.
Okay.
I'm more excited for this game now.
Alright, next up we have Phil Spencer still thinks we're going to see more console hardware down the road. This is by Matthew Olson for US Gamer. This morning, initial hands-on previews of the Xbox Series X are making their way online, and the early impressions bring lots of promising claims about performance increases and faster load times. These leaps wouldn't be possible, of course, without the Series X packing some considerable silicon inside. And according to head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, Microsoft isn't planning on having the Series X and Series S stand as its last consoles. Speaking with Yahoo Finance about the Series X, Spencer takes a moment to address the concern that Microsoft's embrace of a subscription model and debut of game streaming with Xbox Game Pass reflects an intention to shift away from console manufacturing in the near future. This, Spencer says plainly, isn't the case. Instead, the goal with Xbox is to keep pushing consumer hardware further alongside its streaming options. And the quote reads, "If you're a Game Pass subscriber, you can now play your great games on our Xbox console and your PC and on your PC or now on your Android phone via streaming." In terms of future hardware, absolutely. I think we're going to see more console hardware down the road. Just like in video and just like in music, it's not like streaming has cut off device innovation. I think we'll continue to see that, and that's absolutely what we're planning for.
You also got to remember that people around the world don't always have a good internet connection. So they can't. A lot of people can't always rely on streaming for games.
That is true. Even in America, you have more rural areas. And I'm guessing even in Korea, where they have the most.
And not even that, but sometimes your internet service provider is just bad.
Yeah, and you also still have data caps.
Exactly.
You're always going to have latency because it's a physical issue. But with hardware, it doesn't matter how fast your internet is. It doesn't matter how good your hardware is. You're going to have latency, and dedicated hardware is always going to feel better than digital streaming or digital simulated, what have you. So I think gaming hardware is here to stay. When the current generation was just starting, people were also theorizing, is this the last console generation? Because, mobile games are heating up, and Facebook games are heating up. And
Genshin Impact is heating up.
I mean, we've seen this console generation. We've seen how successful it has been. We've seen how the Nintendo Switch is the hottest selling hardware item this year alone. And
and how these new consoles have sold out already.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's still here to stay. They won't just move their business in one direction just because one slice of the pie is fully capable of adopting the next best thing. Because you have to imagine they're not just serving or catering to one facet of the world. They want to cater to everyone, because the more people they can sell to, the better. But I'm not convinced this will be the last generation. So we'll see.
Yeah. And then you got to take into account the mid-gen upgrades, and if we have those.
Yeah.
Who knows? Next story. I don't know if we're going to have time for the main topic.
I mean, we kind of already discussed a lot of it during what we've been playing, but we can just briefly circle back to it. Yeah,
okay. So Dragon Quest Tact coming west. This is by Saruman for Gamatsu. Square Enix will release Dragon Quest Tact for iOS and Android in the West, the company announced. Pre-registration is available now via Google Play, which I already did, because you know me. The Aiming developed tactical RPG first launched for iOS and Android in July in Japan, and there's an overview and a trailer.
Yeah.
I still need to get that 3DS game to see how it compares. Yeah. So more Dragon Quest heading west officially. So good.
Yeah.
Next is Pokemon Sword and Shield Expansion Pass Part 2 The Crown Tundra launches October 22nd, which is earlier than I expected. This is by Saruman at Gamatsu once again. Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield Expansion Pass Part 2 The Crown Tundra will launch on October 22nd, publisher Nintendo and developer Game Freak announced. Additionally, Nintendo announced it will release all-in-one packs of Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, including the base game and expansion pass on a single game card on November 6th. And then they also revealed, so legendary Pokemon for past games are back, the Galarian Star Tournament, a new tournament you can take part in, that you can pick a partner trainer to help you out, the ability patch that lets you use Pokemon's hidden abilities, newly discovered Pokemon, including Gigantamax Melmetal and Galarian Slowking, and then all the other stuff with like legendary Pokemon and Calyrex and all that.
Are you excited for this?
There was also that really cool music video.
Yeah.
That was animated by Studio Bones.
Animated by Studio Bones.
Yeah, had the song by Bump of Chicken. It was just really fast.
Yeah. Kind of got me hyped to dive back into Pokemon.
Did you play the other one? I forgot. The Isle of Armor.
No, I haven't even finished the base game yet. So
I'm kind of less interested in this one.
How come?
Just because it seems to be more focused on the raids and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the raids themselves have kind of, their own problems that they can't really fix until they make an entirely new game, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
At least I think. I'm still probably going to get it and play it because I really like that new Galarian Moltres, and Galarian Slowking looks pretty cool. But I just like I just feel like I'm going to at the end of the day, I'm going to end up liking Isle of Armor better than Crown Tundra.
So, I've seen the trailer, and it's looking like they're catering to fans from the first hour all the way to this generation with the Return of the Legendaries. And it kind of feels like they're wrapping up like this design philosophy of what Pokemon is, and maybe the next generation will be their radical shift into something new. If you're getting what I mean, like you have Mewtwo, you have Registeel, Regice, you have
and Regieleki and Regidrago. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you have all those legendaries, and it kind of feels like Pokemon is like, okay, this is the best of. These are the greatest hits. We're just trying to give you what you want, and then with the next generation, they're just gonna break away from everything and have like 150.
You
totally
gotta remember,
new
they
Pokemon.
did the same.
None
they
of
did
your
the
old
similar
favorites
thing.
are here.
You gotta remember, they did a similar thing with the Gen 3 remakes, though.
Yeah.
With all the available legendary and mythical Pokemon. Now we don't have mythical Pokemon available, but those will probably just be mystery gift
or special raids.
Because it's or special raids, because there's that whole thing where no, these are legendary Pokemon, and then this group is mythical Pokemon, and it's all weird.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. Okay, next up we have 4 new characters introduced to the Scarlet Nexus team. This is by Oni Dino for Silicon Era, like Demon Dino, I guess.
Double Dinosaur.
4 new
from Marvel Comics.
Maybe. 4 new other Suppression Force members of the Scarlet Nexus team have been revealed. Bandai Namco's official Twitter account for the game introduced bios for 4 characters. Kasan Randall or Kasane? Kasan? Kasane?
Remember, we don't have to read the entire.
Yeah. Gemma Jerison, Sugumi Nazar, and Luca Travers. Though technically, Kasane is someone we've seen before. Scarlet Nexus is Bandai Namco's upcoming action RPG that features kinetic psychic combat set in a brain-punk future. Fans are promised a story-driven experience from the creative minds behind Tales of Vesperia. Additionally, a recent broadcast at Tokyo Game Show 2020 highlighted the fast-paced gameplay and Kasane, who is one of the 2 playable characters. Okay, you can click on the article for a full breakdown of who's who. And yeah, it's... You know what? I wasn't all that hyped in the beginning, but now I'm slowly warming up to Scarlet Nexus.
Good.
You're just trying to rope me in to play multiplayer eventually.
Because, was it confirmed that this has multiplayer?
I'm guessing it's gonna have multiplayer.
Yeah. So the one character uses knives, and then one character uses something called solidification and karate.
Whatever that means.
One uses clairvoyance and critical strikes, and one uses teleportation and in a hit and run style. So different fighting styles. So cool. Still excited for this. Next story: Dissidia, Final Fantasy, Opera Omnia, and Dragon Quest of the Stores.
That's a different game.
Dragon Quest of the Stars collaboration announced. This is by Kazuma Hashimoto for Silicon Era. Dissidia, Final Fantasy, Opera Omnia, and Dragon Quest of the Stars will have a collaboration event sometime in the future. This was formally announced through the Opera Omnia community livestream. The collaboration event rewards will be different in each mobile app. Dissidia, Final Fantasy, Opera Omnia players receive Dragon Quest themed stickers as part of the event. However, the collaboration will be a little meatier on the Dragon Quest of the Stars side of things. For a limited time, Dragon Quest of the Stars players will be able to fight mannequins from the Dissidia series. Character skins for Cloud, Mog, the Warrior of Light, and other notable Final Fantasy characters will also be part of the collaboration. The event is scheduled to appear sometime in the near future, but a date has not been announced yet. For those interested, they were urged to follow the official Dragon Quest of the Stars Facebook account. Yeah.
I mean,
so
good
I like
news.
seeing stuff like this. I need to play more Dragon Quest of the Stars. I have it. I just don't play mobile games all that much.
Yeah.
All right.
Next up, we have Animal Crossing New Horizons patch notes, shared Dream Island, and Nook shopping changes. This is by Jenny Alada for Silicon Era. The Animal Crossing New Horizons 1.5.0 patch notes have appeared. While we already knew September 30th, 2020 would bring with it a fall update that would add Halloween elements to the game, the notes offer more insight on some of the other quality of life additions coming to the game. Specifically, we know how the Dream Island feature has been improved and have a new Nook shopping feature. The Dream Island options makes it easier to keep up with others, places, and you can favorite islands. This means to stand out and have a more visible and be more visible as ones you like, rather than be an item in a list, which is the other new feature. As you can see where you've been, you can click on an article to have a full breakdown on what's coming, and also a few trailers and screens. I need to get back into Animal Crossing.
If you want to see more good Animal Crossing wholesomeness, you can follow our friend Nicole B on Twitch.
Yeah.
She has been streaming a lot more lately.
Halloween is not my favorite holiday or season with fall.
You know what? You're fired. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm more of a Christmas person, okay?
Yeah, I used to be, but then...
then the Grinch came and stole Christmas for you? Or from you?
Halloween is Grinch night. That is my answer to that question.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm excited for this. I want to get back into Animal Crossing a little bit. Just, it's a good stress-relieving game, and I like the fall and Halloween stuff. And it's not... It's that thing of Halloween where it's not the scary part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like the more wholesome, cuter part of Halloween, and then there's the scary, there's Halloween themed things which are based on scarier things, but they're kind of toned down, and then there's the regular or even toned up stuff with survival horror and stuff, which I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I need to actually update my game. Next, Tabe Oja Volume 1 Hungry Eater Invasion animated trailer. This is by Sarumono over at Gamatsu. Bandai has released the first in a new series of animated trailers for Tabe Oja. The trailer, dubbed Volume 1 Hungry Eater Invasion, introduces the various keywords that play an important role in the game, such as the Tabigami that dwell in food and hungry eaters that devour the world. Tabe Oja is due out for Switch this winter in Japan. So it's interesting because it is, instead of just a fighting food-ons clone, this seems to be fighting food-ons combined with Yokai Watch.
So it's crossing off all the boxes for you.
So food monsters are either coming out of people or possessing people. It wasn't really that clear to me. But I'm yeah, this is a weird mix, and I am all about it. And the game is just Cooking Mama mixed with fighting food-ons or whatever. Just I have no idea if this game is getting localized either.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
Next up, well, I mean, with Volume 1 Hungry Eater Invasion, I'm guessing it with a name like that, it'll probably come to the West.
Well, that's the...
next...
What do you mean?
I mean, the title...
That's just translating the Japanese name.
Oh, but it's accessible enough to pass for a Western release title, I'm guessing.
No, that's not a Western release. I mean, I guess.
No, I know.
Saruman.
I know, but I'm just saying it seems ready to be released.
Let's hope so. I want a plush of the weird curry rice rabbit thing.
Okay. That's a weird sentence, but okay.
Well, it's one of my favorite Japanese foods, and the fact that it's represented like that is great.
Okay. Next up, we have the most out of left field thing all year.
Is it really out of left field, though?
I mean, it kind of feels like it. Going by how my Twitter feed was like, I guess.
Mine was half and half.
Okay.
Anyways.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC character Steve from Minecraft announced.
What's so funny about this?
This just felt like the biggest troll move ever.
People have been expecting this to happen for a while.
Sure, but like they've been expecting this since the beginning, and it never came, and they were probably like moved on from that point and thinking, oh, that'll never happen. It'll be Sora.
And that's why they announced it now, because they know most people moved on. So they're like, hey, guess what?
Yeah, like everyone would be like, oh, it's Sora, it's Goku, even though Goku's never coming. It's
he's not.
Lloyd Irving from Tales of Symphonia. No, it's Minecraft Steve.
I just
I just wonder how aware Sakurai is of how the hardcore gamers on our timeline reacted to this news. Like I hope he doesn't look at the comment section.
It was either people being disappointed or people making fun of people who are disappointed.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. Nintendo has announced Super Smash Bros. Ultimate downloadable content character Steve for Minecraft. Steve is the second of 6 characters. Okay, with a straight face.
Do you need me to read it?
No, it's fine. Steve is the second of 6 characters, part of the Fighters Pass Volume 2. The first was Min from ARMS. He includes 4 skins, the others being Alex, Zombie, and Enderman. Nintendo will host a Mr. Sakurai Presents Steve and Alex live stream with director Masahiro Sakurai, featuring more information and a release date on October 3rd at 7:30 a.m. Pacific Time or 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You will be able to watch it on YouTube. This is... Like, I tweeted about this on earlier this morning, saying the people upset about this are probably the people that are most out of touch with what's important in the gaming world, because Minecraft is still one of the biggest properties out there, and while you might be thinking, oh, edgy character X is not included, to little Timmy of 5 to 10 years old, this is probably the biggest news ever. So they're probably aiming at that crowd, the young kids.
I mean, are you excited to see the next fighter, Fortnite Banana Man?
Who knows? But I'm guessing with Christmas around the corner and Minecraft Steve being in Smash Brothers, kids will probably be like, ooh, this is the new thing. Yeah. This is the other thing. Let's get this. And
I can see that.
It's also good cross-pollination, and I'm guessing people will also be getting into Minecraft.
Because Minecraft is like on everything.
Yeah, or at least that's the hope. Okay. And last bit
I
of news.
don't have any opinion on just about the Minecraft thing. I don't have any opinion either way because one, I've never been into this particular Smash for whatever reason. I really liked. I really liked Brawl. I thought Smash U was okay. This one I played with my friend a little bit, and I was just like, I don't know. I'm just not that big on Smash, so that's kind of my reaction to Steve being in it. It's like, oh, okay, Steve's in it. I guess that's cool. Like, I'm not disappointed. I'm not excited. I'm just like, I already got my Dragon Quest Hero amiibo, so I'm pretty happy.
You just want Jabanyan to be a character in Smash Brothers.
Hey, look, Stealth said he thinks a level 5 representative could still be in there, so...
I mean, Oliver from Ni no Kuni is a good candidate.
Oh, I was gonna say Professor Layton.
Professor Layton is also good. Who else?
I really don't think Jabanyan would be in Smash.
I think
but who knows?
I think he'd make a good one. Maybe Agumon, just for the sheer joy of having Agumon versus Pikachu.
I don't know why people have that as a. So our friend of the show, Cameron Hawkins, he was thinking like his most wanted character in Smash, or at least he wants a Kingdom Hearts character, and he specifically usually mentions Sora because that would make the most sense. And he says like that's his like want, but his more realistic prediction was Monster Hunter. So when he reacted this morning, he wasn't mad, but I don't know, it didn't seem like he was happy about it. He was like, oh.
I think Monster Hunter would probably be around next year, March, because they have like 2 characters left in this character pass, if I'm not mistaken. Or 3 characters?
I thought they had like 6 characters left.
Wait, how many characters are in Pass 2? Let's look it up real quick. Smash.
Because there's no
Brothers,
Fighter Pass 3.
Ultimate. Are we on Fighter Pass 3 now?
No, we're on Fighter Pass 2. I'm saying I don't think there's another Fighter Pass after this one.
No, I was referring to how many characters are left in this Fighter Pass.
Yeah, it's actually a.
Oh, we have 4 characters left.
Yeah.
Okay, so assuming Monster Hunter Rise makes its debut in March of next year, I'm guessing either Challenger Pack 8 or 9 will be a Monster Hunter character, or maybe Palico or one of Monster Hunter stories.
Palamute.
Better. Palamute's fine too, but I'm guessing Palico would
I think Palico would be the safer bet, but if you do Palico, I don't know if they would do Jabanyan because I know it's like, well, they have characters that are similar from different games already. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know.
Maybe if level 5 got into an exclusivity deal with Nintendo, they'll be like, okay, and now you can use Jabanyan. And
I don't know. Level 5 needs to do something.
Because I was gonna mention that off air, but I think the reason why level 5 is spread too thin at the moment is because they're trying to secure funding, and it's something you're gonna see with a lot of Japanese companies or gaming companies in general, where they're just going to be juggling a lot of products, because they want to have a steady stream of cash flowing in, and they just want to conquer the market with whatever they can.
Yeah.
Okay. Last bit of news of the week is officially licensed Tetris Mini will release in Japan on October 8th, 2020. This is by Sato for Silicon Era. GameTech announced a keychain-style portable game console called the Tetris Mini, set to release in Japan on October 8th, 2020. It will come in 6 different color variations of clear black, gray, clear pink, clear blue, and yellow. The price is 1,500 yen plus tax and will be available to purchase at electronics retailers, game shops, and online stores. You can click on the article for full details. I'm guessing the likelihood of this coming to the West is slim to none, because the market is flooded with bootlegged Tetris clones.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
You never know. This could be like a special edition coupled with like the deluxe Tetris Effect connected.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see that
coming to next gen. But I'm very doubtful that it'll make its way to the West.
Yeah.
But if you look at the console on the pictures or on the images on the website, you can see they're fully translated to English. So that could mean that we might be seeing them soon in the West, even if I have my doubts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, so main topic real quick, because we're kind of going...
Because since we're not
going over
Genshin
technically,
Impact.
But we're kind of going over. Our main topic was...
We spoke about Genshin Impact, and I posed this question to you, with Genshin Impact being kind of loved at the moment, or liked.
Or at least by the people that play it, because there are some people who hear about it and they're like, yeah, that's too anime for me, or like
it's a Breath of the Wild clone, so I won't try.
I have a friend who said like that Paimon's design kind of bothered her, and I'm like, that's interesting.
Well, is she thinking that there will be a loli character or something? Cause
I think that's her line of thinking.
There's no
Possibly.
loli character in this. There are Onisans, which I vastly approve of over loli characters. So, oh god. Yeah, I don't think she has anything to worry about. Yeah, but the question
I don't know if she's gonna. She might just not be that interested. Who knows?
Could be. But the question I wanted to pose to you was, with it being of such a quality and people are seemingly enjoying it a lot, do you think free-to-play games, or Genshin Impact at the very least, will ever replace a fully featured or fully priced video game?
I mean, I don't know if I don't think they'll replace them. More just coexist alongside them.
Or maybe I should phrase
really,
it better. Do you
think kind of depends on the developer and the publisher, right?
Yeah, but like, if you were someone who just got a console and you don't have enough money for whatever, and you see Genshin Impact is very pretty, people seem to enjoy it, and it's free to play.
Oh yeah, if I had like no budget or anything, I would play free games. Like, I would pretty much exclusively play free games. Like, because think about how many, not just Genshin, there's Genshin Impact, Ninjala. Those are just the two Japanese games I can think of at the moment. But there's also like Spellbreak, Apex, Warframe, Destiny 2,
Rocket League now. Yeah. Like I have this friend in Holland. He's like, if he was able to, he'd play all the big AAA titles, but he's kind of on a tight budget, so all he plays these days is Apex Legends, and like I'm just in awe of that. Wondering like, hey, why don't you play Ghost of Tsushima or Last of Us Part 2? And he'll just plainly say, I'm broke, so all I can afford to play is Apex Legends, and he's happy enough with it. So I'm guessing people
you should
playing
introduce him to Genshin Impact.
Well, he's a tough customer, and anything that's not Naruto or Nanatsu no Taizai, or what anime did he like? Well, mainly those two. If it's not any of those two, he won't be interested. Because, some people are tough customers. But do I think it'll replace fully fledged, fully featured games? Maybe not, because so far what I've experienced with free-to-play games is that there will be a certain limit. There will be a feature that's that prevents you from progressing in a free-to-play model, kind of nudging you towards investing in a character pack or a gems pack or a potions pack, just so that you can upgrade beyond a certain threshold. So for Genshin Impact has been pretty decent and pretty forgiving, and it's tough to say. Do I think it will replace it? Honestly, no, but it's a good alternative if you don't have the budget to spend on the next big thing. And I think if this is the only thing you have to play, you'll find a lot of enjoyment in it. So, yeah.
Yeah, so play Genshin Impact, everybody.
We're gonna let us know what you think about it.
Yes, and also Kaya is the best character. I forgot to say that.
Paimon's the best character.
I do not agree with that at all.
Okay, agree to disagree.
I do wish Kaya did even more ice puns, like Mr. Freeze, Batman and Robin level.
Oh no.
Because that would be hilarious.
I'd drop that game like a hot potato. I
also like how I don't know, have you done his quest that it's in the early game. You should be able to access it if you haven't done it yet. Where he's like, oh yeah, I inherited this eye patch from my grandfather. It's like, wait, you're not missing an eye?
No, I'm not there yet. I'm still at the wind.
Oh, sorry, temples. Spoilers.
It's fine.
But it's like, and then somebody asked me like, does he switch his eye patch between eyes? I'm like, no, but that would be hilarious detail if they added that.
I can see that happening in an anime.
You put yourself at a disadvantage just because your grandpa gave you an eye patch. Okay.
Hey man, stranger things have happened.
It's pretty funny.
But yeah, that's where we wrap up this week, I guess.
But yeah.
Keep playing games. Keep social distancing. Wear a mask.
Social distancing. Wear a mask. Yeah. Especially now, especially to your friends in the U.S., because we are going through a really tough time right now.
Yeah, and vote. Vote.
Vote if you're in the U.S. I know people are sick of hearing it, but come on, we gotta do better. Come on, we all know this.
Yeah.
And even if we can't, we have to at least try.
Yeah.
Sure. But anyways, yeah, play games, wear a mask, social distance, stay safe.
Yeah, and we're wrapping up this week. I'll see you next time. This has been Erroll. This has been me, Jason. And we're signing off.
Yep, matane.